Good morning. In this session, we are going to talk about getting started with C++. In this class, we shall be talking about basics of C++. In our session, we shall first talk about introduction to C++, the history behind it, how this language came into being. After that, our discussion would be on what a character set is and what all characters are there in C++ character set. Followed by a discussion on tokens. Tokens are the smallest units in a programming language. There are 5 different type of tokens in C++: keywords, identifiers, literals, punctuators, operators. We shall be talking about all these one by one. And lastly, we shall discuss different components of a C++ program. So let us begin our discussion by introduction to C++. The C++ programming language was developed at AT&T Bell Laboratories in early 80s by Bjarne Stroustrup. As you all know, this is one of the most popular object-oriented languages of today. In those days, C was very popular language, but it lacked the object-oriented features. So Bjarne Stroustrup, he added object-oriented features as these were there in a language called Simula 67, and he named this new language as C with classes. His colleague there, Rick Machiti, he coined the name C++. Because in C, plus means +1. Since C++ is something added to C, so that is why this name was apt and this name was adopted, and that's how this language was named as C++. Let's now talk about character sets. You all are familiar with character sets, though you might not know its definition. Character set is a set of valid characters that a language can recognize. For example, the English language's character set includes capital letters, small letters, comma, period, colon, semicolon, exclamation sign, and so on. All these characters are recognized in English language. So these form character set of English language, right? Now let's have a look at one sentence. If we say this is sentence. Now English can recognize this, but it cannot recognize this because this is not part of its character set. Now that you're clear about what a character set is, let's now have a look at what all characters are there in C++ character sets. C++ character set includes these characters. It includes letters, capital letters, small letters, symbols 0 to 9, special symbols like space, star, slash, parentheses, brackets, underscore, etc. And all the characters that are there as part of a sky list. C++ language can recognize that. Now let's have a look at this program. This is a C++ program. You can have a look at this. This is one symbol, another symbol, another symbol, symbols, and so on. These are letters, these are digits. So all these make C++ program, right? So all these characters are valid in C++. Let's now talk about tokens. The smallest individual unit in a program is known as a token or a lexical unit. For example, in a passage of text, individual words and punctuation marks are called tokens or lexical units or lexical elements. Let's have a look at this. This is an English passage. It has sentences, it has words, it has punctuation marks and so on. So we can say sentences, words, punctuators, etc. These are tokens of English language. Right? Similarly, C++ has certain tokens. It has 5 types of tokens: keywords, identifiers, literals, punctuators, and operators. Let's begin our discussion of tokens with keywords. Keywords are the words that convey a special meaning. The words that are reserved for some special purpose, and these must not be used as normal identifier names. For example, in your day-to-day life, while naming a boy or a girl, what kind of names do you go for? Do you ever choose any type of name which has some special meaning, some specific purpose attached to it? For example, have you ever named a boy or a girl as gas stove? Have you ever named any boy and a girl as chimney or washing machine? No, you haven't, no? Because these words mean they have some special purpose, specific meaning attached to them. So you don't use them in any other manner. So these are reserved for that specific purpose only. Similarly, the words that are reserved for a special meaning or a specific purpose in C++, those are known as keywords. So the words that convey a special meaning, the words that are reserved for a special purpose, and these must not be used as normal identifier names, the way you do in your normal day-to-day life languages. Some examples of keywords are if, break, while, do, switch, case. See, these might, you may find them very new, or you might not be similar with them, but don't worry, you'll be very much clear about these one after the other. Right now, just concentrate on examples. Don't worry about other technical terms. Original C++ had these words. These are the keywords which was originally developed by Björn Strostrup. After keywords, let's now talk about identifiers. Other than the words that have some special meaning, you also create words or names for the things that are created or used by you, the programmers. Like in your day-to-day lives, for a boy or a girl, you give them the names. You create things, you create paintings, and then you give names as you love to name them. So these are the names. The things created by you are named by you only. So those, similarly, the things created by the programmer are named by the programmer, and such names are known as identifiers. The names given to different parts of the program, for example, variables, objects, classes, functions, arrays, etc., these are known as identifiers. Again, I repeat, don't worry if you do not understand these terms called variables, objects, classes, etc. Just concentrate on examples right now, because you'll be clear about these terms slowly, one after other. Okay. So while naming an framing an identifier, make sure the word that you are choosing is not a keyword. It must not be a keyword. So these are some valid identifiers. You'll learn in the next slide how to write, how to form an identifier name. An identifier is a combination of letters and digits. It can contain underscore as well, but it must begin with either a letter or an underscore. It cannot begin with a digit. And one more thing which is very important, which is case sensitivity. C++ is a case sensitive language, which means uppercase letters and lowercase letters are different. That means if you write something like A, B, C and A, B, C, these are not same. This is capital, this is in lowercase letters, so these are different in C++ language. Now let's have a look at some valid identifiers as per the rules. This is valid. It contains only letters, begins with a letter, and it is not a keyword. Again, begins with a letter, contains digits and contains underscore, all legal. Again, valid, beginning with a letter, beginning with underscore, valid, beginning with underscore, valid, valid, valid. Let's have a look at some invalid identifiers. Now data -rec is invalid because this hyphen is not allowed, because only special character which is allowed is underscore. This is again invalid because it is beginning with a digit. Again invalid. Break is a reserved word. It cannot be used as an identifier name. Again invalid. Contains a special character other than underscore. After discussing identifiers, let's now talk about literals, the constant values basically. The literals are the data items that never change their value during a program run. Once that value is shown, that value would remain as it is as long as your program is running. You cannot alter them. So those are literals. Now C++ offers 4 types of literals. First one is character constant, then is string literal, integer constant and floating constant. We shall begin our discussion on literals with character constant. A character constant in C++ is written as it has one character enclosed in single quotes. Remember, single quotes and those single quotation marks, they have just one single letter inside them. For example, this is one character constant, another character constant, another character constant, and so on. Here one more thing you must be clear about, like on your keyboard there are different type of keys. One like A, B, C, D and all that. The moment you press that key, the same letter appears on the screen. But there are certain action keys. For them nothing appears on the screen, but some action takes place. For example, if you press enter, generally the cursor moves to next line. If you press backspace, a letter on the left is removed, and so on. Tab, 8 or 7 or number of spaces are left and cursor moves forward, and so on. So these are known as action keys, or these characters, these are stored as characters inside, and these are known as non-graphic characters. Now these are one single character inside. So to show these action keys as character constant, C++ provides you escape sequences. An escape sequence is represented by a backslash followed by one or more characters. For example, the code for backspace is \b, and as character constant it is shown as this. Similarly, for new line, the code for new line is \n, and it is shown as \n enclosed in single quotation marks. Similarly, for carriage returns, it is \r. For single quotation marks, this is \single quote enclosed in single quotation marks. Right? So these are escape sequences. Similarly, \t is for tab, and so on. You can see the entire list in the book of class 11th, Computer Science with C++ by Sumita Arora, at page 165. Table number is 6.1.